Am I wrong for being the reason my grandparents refused to help my dad anymore? And for laughing when he and his wife complained about it? I'm a 16-year-old and my mom passed away when I was 7. She left me an inheritance with my dad in charge of it. The money was specifically meant for my future, and nobody was supposed to touch it unless it was for my needs. I read through the details of the inheritance about 5 months ago when everything went downhill. When I was 10, my dad remarried. He now has an 8-year-old stepdaughter and a 4-year-old daughter with his wife, Louise. My half-sister, the 4-year-old, was diagnosed with a rare condition when she was 2. Although it was clear something was wrong, it took a long time for the doctors to figure out what it was. Thankfully, the condition isn't life-threatening, but it could lead to a permanent disability if not treated. A few months ago, my dad and Louise found out about a special treatment for my half-sister's condition. However, it was incredibly expensive. There were ways to get financial assistance, but that process would take time. My dad decided he was going to use the inheritance my mom left me to pay for the treatment. He asked me first, but it was clear he was going to use the money regardless of my answer. When I said no, he told me I was being selfish and that I should prioritize my half-sister's health over my college education. Louise, who was in the room at the time, asked me how I could possibly say no after looking at my half-sister and considering the life she might have without the treatment. I told my dad I would never forgive him if he took the money. After this, I went to my grandparents, my mom's parents, and read through my mom's will. It was clear that the money could only be used for my needs. I brought this up to my dad, but he dismissed it, saying that my mom was dead and would have understood. I told him that I wouldn't understand or forgive him. That's when I told him I hated him and that Louise had no right to speak to me, as I found it disgusting that she would support taking my mom's money for this. I ended up telling my grandparents what my dad tried to do. They had always maintained a friendly relationship with him, even helping him out at times, like when my grandpa would check his car for free. But once they found out what he had done, they stopped all of that. My dad didn't understand why until he confronted them about it last week. They told him he had no right to steal from me and use their daughter's money on his own child. My dad was furious that they didn't support his decision, so he confronted me again and complained about how I had ruined things. I couldn't help but laugh and reminded him that I had warned him I would never forgive him. He called me heartless and selfish. I told him I would never forget what he tried to do. So, am I wrong for how I handled all of this?